morning, students. Today we are going to start with the next chapter, that is a grain as big as a hen's egg. This is lesson number 6 of your course book. So this chapter is written by Leo Tolstoy in 1886, and this whole chapter revolves around a single theme, that is, one must be satisfied with what one has and should not be jealous what others have. So let's get started with the chapter. So this parable takes us back to a time when land and what it yielded was free for everyone. So it was free for everyone. Should one live by one's own labor and be content with it, or I what others produce? So let's read that whatever people were having, were they contented with that, or were they jealous about what others were having? One day some children found in a ravine is a deep narrow valley, a thing shaped like a grain of corn, with a groove down the middle, but as large as a hen's egg. So there was a long, narrow cut on a hard surface, that is a groove, but it was as large as a hen's egg. A traveler passing by saw the thing, bought it from the children for a penny, and taking it to town, sold it to the king as a curiosity. So a traveler was passing by, and when he saw this thing, so he bought it from the children for a penny, and out of curiosity, so he sold it to the king. The king called together his wise men and told them to find out what the thing was. And the wise men pondered. They thought over it and could not make head or tail of it, till one day, when the thing was lying on a windowsill, a hen flew in and pecked it till she made a hole in it, and then everyone saw that it was a grain. So when the traveler sold it to the king called his wise men, and they all started pondering over it, and they could not make out the head or tail, means they could not understand what the thing was, until one day when they saw that the grain was kept on a windowsill, and a hen flew in and it pecked in till it made a hole. So that was the time that they realized that it was a grain. The wise men went to the king and said, "It is a grain of corn." The king was surprised and ordered and learned men to find out when and where such corn had grown. So the king was surprised, and he ordered the learned men to find out that when this kind of corn was grown, which was as big as a hen's egg. The learned men pondered again and searched in their books, but could not find nothing about it. So they could not find anything about it. They searched in their books also, but could not find. So they returned to the king and said, "We can give you no answer. There is nothing about it in our books. You will have to ask the peasants. Perhaps some of them may have heard from their fathers when and where grain grew to such a size." So the learned men said that we are unable to find out the answer, and you'll have to find out the answer of this from the peasants, the farmers. Maybe they might have heard it from their father or their forefathers, that when and where such kind of grains they grew to such a big size. So the king gave orders that a very old peasant should be brought before him, and his servants found such a man and brought him to the king. So the king ordered that they must find old peasant or farmers who knew about the grain. So they found one such man and brought him to the king. Old and bent, ashy pale and toothless, he just managed with the help of two crutches to totter into the king's presence. So he was old and he was also bent because he was weak. His eyes were very weak, ashy pale, and he was toothless without any teeth. He just managed with the help of two crutches to totter, and he was walking very unsteadily into the king's presence. The king showed him the grain, but the old man could hardly see it. He took it, however, and felt it with his hands. The king questioned him, saying, "Can you tell us, old man, where such grain as this grew? Have you ever bought such corn or sown such in your fields?" So the king asked that once the peasant had felt it with his hand, since he was old and weak and had ashy eyes, so he could not see the grain clearly, but he felt it with his hands. And then the king questioned him that, "Can you tell them where such grain as this grew, and have they ever bought such corn or sown such in their fields?" The old man was so deaf that he could hardly hear what the king said, and only understood with great difficulty. "No," he answered at last. So the old man was very weak, he was hard of hearing, was deaf, but with little difficulty he managed to listen what the king had said. So he said that, "No, I never sowed nor reaped any like it in my fields, nor did I ever buy any such. When we bought corn, the grains were always as small as they are now. But you might ask my father. He may have heard where such grain grew." So he said that, "Yes, I don't know, but yes, you might get the answer to this question from my father." So the king sent for the old man's father. He was found and brought before the king. He came, walked with one crutch. Now, children, you have to understand it. The first old man was walking on two crutches, and he was not walking, rather he was tottering. And his father, who was too old, he came walking with one crutch. The king showed him the grain, and the old peasant, who was still able to see, took a good look at it. And the king asked him, "Can you not tell us, old man, where corns like this used to grow? Have you ever bought any like it or sown any in your fields?" Though the old man was rather hard of hearing, he could still hear better than his son had done. So the father of the peasant was also hard of hearing, but he could hear better than his son. "No," he said, "I never sowed nor reaped any grain like this in my field. As to buying, I never bought any, for in my time money was not yet in use. Everyone grew his own corn, and when there was any need, we shared with one another. Very, very important." So he said that during our times we only grew crops, and when we reaped the crop, there was no money, and whosoever wanted, we shared the things with that particular person. I do not know where corns like this grew. Ours was larger and yielded more flour than present day grain, but I never saw any like this. I have, however, heard my father say that in his time the grain grew larger and yielded more flour than ours. You had better ask him. So this peasant also said that even I have also not seen, but our grains were also good and they gave more of flour. But he said that I have heard it from my father, and he said that in their times the grain grew larger and they gave more flour than the ones which they were using at that time. So that old man says that you may better ask my father. So the king sent for his old man's father, and they found him too and brought him before the king. He entered walking easily and without crutches. His eyes were clear, his hearing good, and he spoke distinctly. The king showed him the grain, and the old grandfather looked at it and turned it about in his hand. It is long since I saw such a fine grain, said he, and he bit a piece off and tasted it. It's a very same kind, he added. So the old man's father was called. Now he entered walking easily without crutches, and his eyes were also clear. He could hear properly, and he also spoke very clearly. And when the king showed him that grain, which was as big as a hen's egg, so he tasted it a bit, and his reaction was, it's the very same kind they have eaten in their time. Tell me, grandfather, said the king, when and where was such corn grown? Have you ever bought any like it or sown any in your fields? So the king was very curious to know about, and he asked him the same question. And the old man replied, corn like this used to grow everywhere in my time. I lived on corn like this in my young days and fed others on it. It was grain like this that we used to sow and reap and thresh. So he said that yes, these type of corn were grown in my time, and everywhere people used to grow these type of corns, and it was grain like this that they used to sow and reap, and they also used to thresh it. Thresh it means to separate the grains of corn and rice from the rest of the plant by beating with an object. And the king asked, tell me, grandfather, did you buy it anywhere or did you grow it all yourself? So again, now the king had got the answer of the first question. Now he again was curious, and he asked that, grandfather, please tell me, did you buy it anywhere or did you grow it all by yourself? The old man smiled. In my time, he answered, no one ever thought of such a sin as buying or selling bread, and we knew nothing about money. Each man had enough corn of his own. So he said that in my time, buying and selling, it was considered to be a sin. And since there was no money at that time, so each man had enough of corn of his own. Then tell me, grandfather, asked the king, where was your field? Where did you grow corn like this? So the king again asked one more question, that where was your field, grandfather, and where did you grow corns like this? And the grandfather answered, my field was God's earth. Very, very important lines. Where I plowed, there was my field. Land was free. It was a thing no man called his own. Labor was the only thing men called their own. So, grandfather, very, very important paragraph, children. Please underline it. So he said that my field was God's earth. Wherever I plowed, there was my field. So people could plow anywhere. Land was free. It was not that this is my piece of land as we have nowadays. So it was a thing no man called his own. So land was used by everyone. They could use any part of land and they could sow the seeds over there. Labor was the only thing men called their own. So people did hard work on that particular thing. So it was their hard work which they called as their own. I have two more questions to ask of you, said the king. The first is, why did the earth bear such grain then and has ceased to do so now? So the king says, grandfather, I have two more questions to ask. And the first one is, why did the earth bear such big grains during your time and has stopped to do so now? And the second is, why does your grandson walk with two crutches, your son with one, and you yourself with none? Your eyes are bright, your teeth sound, and your speech clear and pleasant to the ear. How have these things come about? So the king was very curious. So he says the first question, that why did the earth bore such grains that time and not now? And the second was that why did your grandson walk with two crutches, your son with one, and you yourself with none? And the old man answered, these things are so because men have ceased to live by their own labor and have taken to depending on the labor of others. So he says that man nowadays have stopped to live by their own labor. People have started depending on themselves, rather they are dependent on others. They are not happy with what they have. They are always jealous about what others have and have taken to depending on the labor of others. In the old times, men lived according to the God's law. They had what was their own and did not covet. Did not covet means they did not want what others had produced. So it means that during their time, people were very much satisfied with what they had. They were happy with what they had and they were not jealous about others. So with this, we finish up with the chapter's explanation.